great book coming right here in Rosemont. I'm talking with a very famous photojournalist by the name of Richard Prince, and he's got a couple of good books out. I'm gonna let him talk about them. Richard, tell us about what you got here.
Thank you, Frank. Let me just say, I'm sitting with a very famous guy too. Tremendous asset to the hobby. Frank Pope, Corvette owner, Corvette enthusiast, car enthusiast, and he's done a lot of great work to make sure this hobby stays safe and fun for a lot of people. I have been at this for quite a few years and wrote the first book, which is this one, the C30 Restoration Guidebook. I wrote the first book in 1999, a long time ago, and that book is still in print. It's gone through multiple printings and multiple editions, and has had a tremendous sales success. And it's still alive and still going. My second and third books were not as long-lived. They were done in 2001, 2002, and they're not in print anymore. Then I went a long stretch without writing another book. After those first three, my other work grew exponentially, particularly the racing-related work. I do the Corvette racing photography for Chevrolet, and Cadillac racing photography for Cadillac, and also have been photographing new Corvettes for Chevrolet since the C5. And new cars for Cadillac as well, particularly the V Series and the newest high-performance, amazing cars from Cadillac, the Black Wings. So as the other work grew, I didn't take on another book project until 2022, when I was asked to write a book celebrating the upcoming 70th anniversary of Corvette. And initially I declined to do it. I declined to do it a couple of times, but the publisher was pretty persistent, and the folks at Chevrolet were also pretty persistent. And so I did write that book in the early months of 2022, dedication of the 70th anniversary book. That was published in 2023, and it was a wonderful experience for me, and I've done quite a few book signings in 2023 and in 2024 as well. And it's been a really welcome opportunity to come face to face and meet a lot of the enthusiasts all around the country. And at the end of the day, as much as I love the cars, and I do love the cars beyond all racing, the ability of the cars to connect people, bring us together, people with similar interests is really the most beautiful part of this hobby. So I've really gotten a great deal out of not only writing the book, but doing book signings around. And this year, I did a second edition, did the updates to a C8 launch book that was originally published in 2020, and updated it to include the E-Ray, the anniversary edition C8, and also the C806. So here we are on MCACN, and I've got all three books here, and very happy as always to sign them and describe them for people. And again, the best part is to meet wonderful people from all over the country, from all walks of life, varied interests, we're all united by shared love for the Chevrolet Corvette.
You know, not only is he a great photojournalist, he writes great books, he's also a restorer. And he restored the 61 Gulf Oil race car. Very famous, almost infamous, but famous now, that was purchased by Lincoln Auction. And he knows every inch of that car because when I had to do the investigation on its authenticity, he coached me through it, explained everything in detail. But as long as I'm sitting here with you, just over next booth, there's a 69 L88 car. Did you have an opportunity to take a look at it?
Well, I saw it briefly yesterday, but it was all buttoned up, so I didn't really take a close look. I understand it's a real 18,000-mile car, so that in and of itself is super exciting. As you know, the L88 was
You know the story that they found the original motor?
I do not
They
know.
didn't have the original motor until recently. And it's a great story. We put it on there live early. Well, someone was at an auction, making an auction out west. Called them up and said, I think I find the motor. Someone from that city took a picture of the engine. It was in '67. He bought it.
That's incredible.
And a couple of my friends, they switched the motor out. And now with a real motor, he knew it didn't have the motor when he bought it.
Yeah.
He took a chance. That's one that paid off.
Oh yeah, it's great, and there are still super rare cars that are missing their original engines, and the engines are still out there. My wife and I happen to have in our garage a 67 435 horse engine. It was removed from the car it came in 1973 and was put into another 67 Corvette. The engines were swapped. In '73, when the numbers and the originality of the engine really meant nothing to the hobby still, we bought the engine in 1988, intending to put it back into the car it came out of. The car it came out of was in the town where we lived. It was there its whole life. And then we went to find the car that had disappeared. We spent quite a lot of time tracking the car down that ended up on the other side of the country. And for years, I tried to buy the car, and it became apparent the gentleman who owned the car acquired it when he was in high school, and it was his first car. It's an unbelievable story. He was, this was not like back in the day when it was just a car. It was already a highly collectible car. There were very few 17-year-olds driving 67 Corvettes on a daily basis when they were in high school. What do you say? This was probably in the 80s. He still has the car to this day, and I'm convinced he will never part with it. Finally, when he got married, he and his wife have a baby, a son. I said, well, he's in love with this car, he's going to keep the car his whole life. Now he's got a son. It's apparent this car is just going to be passed down in the family. I'm never going to acquire the car that I have the original engine for. And I suggested, well, why don't you buy the engine from me, put the engine back in the car. And it's such an unusual situation. It just has no interest.
Oh my God.
He said I'm not into the numbers and into matching numbers and originality. I just love the car for its own sake. I love to drive the car. So putting the engine back in is really difficult.
In the garage, just that.
Exactly. So anyway, related to what you were saying with the LA8 engine being discovered and reunited with the cars, there are still engines and cars out there that belong together that haven't been united yet. And one day they will be. So yeah, we're going to hold on to that engine. It's just a display item for us now, and it's super cool. Original blocker, intake, original dated carburetors. It's quite cool. Yeah, it's nice when they're brought back together, but sometimes you just have to wait for the exact right moment for all the people concerned.
Well, you're a fascinating individual.
So are you, Mr. Pope.
Thanks. Take the time.
You're welcome, and thank you, everybody out there who loves and supports America's sports car.